Samore lovebirds, what's up, what's going on? So today we're going to be doing a story time video, and this one I actually recorded before everything happened with me, before I was in the hospital the first and the second time. And yeah, this is just talking about something that occurred in, I think it was around the summertime. It happened like in April or May. So I really hope that this gives you some kind of insight, help you to make some decisions and things like that. And let me know if you've had any crazy stories with piercings or anything. I swear I have no luck with piercings, but you'll see why once you watch this story. All right, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here we go. Hey y'all, what's up? What is going on? So we're gonna do another story time video, and this one is a crazy one, okay? So not too long ago, some of you guys that have me on Snapchat, you saw that I was all excited. It was actually the same day that I got my new glasses. And they have the tattoo shop that I usually go. I get my tattoos, all that stuff. I go to the same place just because I like dealing with the same type of stuff, equipment. I'm just kind of like that. And I went there after I picked up my glasses, and I just wanted to be spontaneous, and just do the darn thing. And I always wanted to get a Tragus piercing because I see like so many people have them, but it looks so like cool to me. It looks so exotic, and it just looks kind of sexy to me as well. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be sexy too. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. So I went upstairs, waited a little bit, and I got the guy. His name was Space. He sat me down in the chair. He was like, he loved my hair because I had on like a big wig that day. He absolutely loved it. And he moved my hair out the way, washed his hands, did all the good stuff, took out a new needle and everything else. I was watching. And then he went ahead, he put it in my ear, right? And when he did, and guys, this is like a nightmare story. Like, I don't think this typically happens for everybody. I don't want to scare anybody into like, oh my God, I don't want to get my piercing now because this could happen. I don't know. I'm like, there's like 1 in 10. You know how they have the ratios, and I'm usually that one person. You know what I'm saying? That stuff happens too. So anyways, he put it in, and then he was about to put in the ring. Then all of a sudden, it like pushed it out. So I'm like, oh, and then he's like, shit. And then he had to take it out. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, but I'm gonna have to do this again. And I'm just sitting there like, just go. Because I was already feeling the pain from the first one. I'm all thinking, oh yes, I'm getting relief right now. This is about to feel good. I'm about to just, take it like a G. I took it, and then I had to take it again. It's like, what the hell? So then I'm sitting down, bracing myself, getting ready, like how you getting ready for a roller coaster. I'm just sitting there like, all right, just go. And it was this side. So I'm like, just go, okay. So he goes, he goes right in there. You see that little spot right there? He put it in there. And then he took something like I don't even know what they're called, but he took something, held it on, and he's like, okay, you're going to feel a little bit of pain because I have to make sure that I turn it. And he gave me the hooked one. So it was a little bit harder for him to do, but he said that would be easier for me to, if I'm putting in headphones. To be honest, I didn't really care about no headphones because I hardly used them before this incident actually occurred. Like, before this happened, I never used to use the earphones, the ones that go inside your ear. After, I had to use them all the time, and I'll tell you why momentarily. So he squeezed it on, and I'm like, oh, okay, just be gentle. Oh my gosh. So he squeezed it on, and he's good. He told me how to clean it. He told me that I'll feel a little pain for a couple of weeks. Sometimes it might get a little swollen, or I might feel a little throbbing or a little bit of oozing. He told me make sure I clean it. He said I could use dial soap, which I later found out when reading in forums that dial soap can be very harsh on the skin, so it's not necessarily one of the best things to use. And yeah, those were like, he didn't tell me that much. So I'm all like, you know, feeling the pain, feeling the throb, and I'm just walking, going along my merry little way. Some guy was trying to talk to me like, oh, ma, what's now he didn't say ma, he said mommy. And he was like, oh, I love your natural hair. He told me where he was from, and you know, we just had a little chit chat, and I was just like, okay, you know, I was trying to get away from him, but I guess he wasn't feeling my non-interested vibe. So moving on from that, I got on the bus, I'm there, and I'm just sitting down on the bus, and I'm like, you know, all excited, looking in the mirror, taking selfies, going on Snapchat, look what I just did. And I'm so, yeah, it was like a real exciting experience for me. I was finally had the piercing that I want, because I've always been in love with piercings. I've had my belly button pierced. Unfortunately, maybe like a year after that, I actually got pregnant and I had my son, so I had to take it out. So I wasn't really there for that long, but it was kind of like, because I'm short, it was rubbing on my belt a lot. But that's a whole nother story. Then I also had right here pierced at one point. Had some issues with that. It always kept on getting, it's like always getting caught on something. It kept on getting caught on like my clothes and things like that. But it was one of my hottest piercing ever. Like I would actually get this redone just because I loved the way it looked and it didn't have a lot of pain. And then I've had my ears. I have about 5. I had 5 on this side, and then I have 3 on this side, and then I actually made 3 of them myself when I was like in junior high school or high school. It might have been in, I think it was in high school. And then I also have my tongue piercing, which that's a whole next story. If you guys want to see, let me know. Or if you, yeah, if you want to see that story or hear that story. But I don't have it in right now. It just kind of depends on when I feel like I want to wear it. It probably would have been cool, but whatever. Anyway, so back to the story. So I'm good, right? And so now I come back home, I'm living my day-to-day. Let's speed up a little bit. And maybe about, I would say 3 weeks into it, I noticed that there was like a bump. It was like a baby bump, but it wasn't really that big. So I'm like, is this normal? I wonder. And I remember the night before I had actually slept on it. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm like, oh, maybe it's irritated. So I'm like, all right. Then the next day, the bump was there, and now the bump was starting to throb. So I'm feeling like my ear is like this, and it was like crazy, like the way that it was feeling. So I looked into some forums, looked at some tips that I could use. I saw a lot of people were saying if you see a little bump, that's the tragus bump, and don't be alarmed, don't take it out because that makes it worse and that can actually cause you to get a keloid. And I'm like, oh, F no, I do not want a damn keloid right here on my ear. Like, that is not hot. That's not what's up. So time was going by, maybe like a week or two, and it started to look like the bump was getting bigger. And then on top of that, the bump was coming to the backside too. So I'm like, now I'm starting to freak out because I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to hear. Like, I was literally losing my mind for like 2 whole weeks. I was going to work every day, you know, regular, smiling. I was coming on here recording my videos as normal, just trying not to show that ear because it just looked nasty. It was starting to get like a black big bump, and at first the bump was like kind of squishy, but then it was starting to get harder, and there was like stuff leaking out of it. It was just gross, y'all. I tried to clean it with regular salts because I seen a lot of people were saying to clean it with salt water. So I started doing that. I saw some other people saying, and this is why it's not good to use the internet for doctor advice or for things like that. And I saw people say that they had to get a cortisone shot because they was allergic. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm allergic to everything. Perhaps I'm allergic to it. Maybe my body's rejecting. But then once again, I saw a lot of people were saying don't take it out because that can make your ear worse. So, and then I'm looking up keloids, my heart is racing, I'm getting anxiety. It was like a real bad situation. Like, if you were to ask my man, he would tell you, like, I was literally showing him, I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did this to myself. I'm always doing something, trying to be cool, trying to be hot, and I always end up messing myself up. Like, I was really going into a state of depression. Y'all didn't know because I came on here and smiled every day, you know, but it was really a sad time for me. And I'll show you some pictures right now so you guys can kind of see how it looked. can see, it was just like really starting to get bigger. I was taking pictures every single day. I was showing my man how it was looking, and you know, he was just saying, you know, don't worry. He's trying to like really help me out, and I really help him. I really thank him for that, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have had like a real official anxiety attack, because it was just getting to me so much, and I was just, like I said, going into depression. So now what I ended up doing was I read on the forums again, back to the forums like a dummy. I was like, you know what, if by Friday this doesn't get better, I'm gonna go back to the guy. And this about 4 weeks, I had the piercing for about maybe a month and a half, I would say. So it was like towards the end of that next month to like the other weeks, that's when it started getting like the two bumps, like the one inside and the one outside. And the one outside, inside was the one that was freaking me out. Like, I was prepared to live with a keloid if I had to, and try to get it cut off or whatever I had to do. But I wasn't prepared to not be able to hear. And there was a lot of throbbing that was happening on a daily basis. I couldn't use my headphones anymore. The only way I was able to use my headphones, which is how this comes into play, where I said earlier I was now using earbuds. I used my Samsung earbuds, and like on the train, I like to listen to music. Going to work, I'm on the train most of the times, because I don't drive to work, because the city's crazy out here. Anyways, so I would listen to music in only one ear. If I'm at work trying to focus, one ear. I could not use this ear at all. Like, I would even try to put hair on that I knew was long and would cover it, because I just hated the way it looked, and I just felt like it was just like really like attracting everybody looking at me, because I still had the earring in there, and you could tell that something wasn't right. So, and then sometimes the hair would kind of irritate it as well, even more. So I try to put it like behind that a little bit sometimes. It was just really bad. And it was just looking like, it was actually like, sometimes I felt like it was like itching inside my ear. It was like really itchy. Or sometimes I would feel like all inside of my ear was hurting. I would feel like this side of my face was hurting a lot. I was like, I probably have an ear infection, but I didn't want to go to the doctor, because I knew they would give me medicine. And I have a thing with pills where, because of what happened to me, I'm just like really freaked out by pills. And it's only if I know I really have to take it, like I will. Like with Benadryl, sometimes I have to, I'm forced to take it. But I try to stay away from medicine. Like, I haven't used traditional medicine, any type of medicine, in about 4 to 5 years. Well, about 4 years. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. I could tell a story, and my stories would take forever if I really tell you the story. But I've been really trying to, tell you a story. All right, so back to the story. So yeah, it was getting crazy, and I seen like people were saying that regular table salt is not the right salt. So I'm like, oh my god, all this time I've probably been making it worse, because it has iodine in it, and I think it has something else, but I think it's mostly the iodine, and it's not like it's not pure. Sorry, y'all, I had some hair in my mouth. Since it's not pure, it can actually make the piercing worse. It can actually make everything worse. And that's when I was also saying that dial soap is not really good either, but I had already stopped using that. So I went out, I bought some sea salt, some pure sea salt. It was like $2 for salt. So I bought that, and I boiled it a little bit and made sure it was nice and warm. And what I did was I took some cotton, and I put it right here in my ear, and like in the inside, I just let it soak for a minute. But hold on, I would have think that was the good thing or the right thing to do, and it would have been. But let me tell you why it wasn't. So all of a sudden, I did that, and I started feeling like my throat was getting tight. Like someone, literally, it feels like someone is going like this, and they're squeezing it slowly. And my acid reflux also it goes with it, where I started feeling like the acid was coming up, and I'm like hold on, wait a minute. This is the kind of feeling that I would get if I'm having an allergic reaction. But I'm like, I didn't eat anything. What the hell's going on? So I stopped using the sea salt. I'm like, maybe it's this, or maybe I'm having anxiety, because sometimes when I try new stuff, it gets me a little nervous, because I'm like, I don't know how I'll react to it because of all these new allergies that I have. So I'm like, all right. I just left it alone. I literally started pacing back and forth in my house, because I was alone that night. And then I went in my room and I just kind of listened to some relaxing music, which is like the worst thing you could ever do when you're having an allergic reaction, but it kind of helps to calm the nerves and calm the mind, because I guess the reaction I was having wasn't that bad. So then I kind of just sat down, I relaxed, and I just was just relaxing, and I just closed my eyes for a little bit. And maybe like half an hour later, it fully subsided, it was gone. So I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, is this my anxiety, like, just freaking me out? I'm like, I can't be allergic to salt. Like, why the hell? Like, maybe it's just me. Because sometimes when I get anxiety or I get nervous, I also feel similar symptoms to my allergies. Like, I start feeling like my throat is closing up just because it's, like, injured in there. Like, it's just a whole big mess. So, next day, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this another shot. Maybe it was just my anxiety, but I have to get this thing healed. And a lot of people were saying that either that or tea tree oil can help it to heal. I know that I'm allergic to like 3 different trees or 4 different trees. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to try anything that has to do with a tree. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick to trying this oil thing out. So I tried it, the salt thing. So I tried the salt again. Same process, getting pure water, not even tap water. I got regular pure water, boiled it, put some of the salt in there, let it, do its thing, turn it a little bit, put it into a little cup, got my cotton ball, and I went about doing my business. Once again, I feel the same feeling. So I was like, no, it has to be something with the salt. Because as soon as I went like this, left it for like, I think you're supposed to leave it for like a minute or so. I left it, put it on the inside too, and I used a cotton, one of those things called cotton swabs, put it on the back of here as well. And I was like this, cleaning it, trying to get it to go down a little bit. Started feeling like somebody was choking me again. I'm like, nah, this cannot be a coincidence. Like, this happened 2 days in a row. Maybe the first day I could have attributed to, okay, maybe I'm just having anxiety because I'm trying something new that I've never done before. But no, it was real. My heart started racing. Like, I felt like, it was crazy. I started feeling my heart racing a little bit, and I felt the choking feeling. And I just had to like just relax a bit. I was even like panicking, starting to look for my bag, because I'm like, I might have to take some Benadryl right now, because that's the first sign, or the first mode of defense would be the Benadryl, and if anything got worse, it would be the EpiPen. And so I'm like, all right, I did that, and then the next day I went to work, and somebody told me to Google sea salt and reactions to sea salt. So then I read that people that are sensitive to shellfish, because there are microorganisms, and I forgot the name of it. It's like some, one of them scientific names. They have microorganisms that are also known as shellfish inside of the sea salt. So if you have pure unrefined sea salt, then it's possible that you can have a reaction to it. And I was having the same reaction that I had to like calamari and shrimp. Even the smell of shrimp makes me get like that. So I learned something, and that just kind of opened up my eyes, that now it's like I even have to watch if somebody puts sea salt on food. I didn't have any reaction that I can remember from Wendy's, or maybe I just kind of ignored it because it wasn't that serious, because I know they use sea salt on their fries, and I have eaten their fries since they've done that. But I don't know, that's been a while ago since I actually had something from them. So it just kind of opened my eyes to the whole sea salt thing, and I have to be cognizant of that as well. It's like, that's why for like the whole year I've been just eating my own food. I know what's in there and things like that. So back to the ear. So now this thing is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm just freaking out, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I didn't even wait until Friday, because I said I was gonna do this on Friday. I think this was like a Wednesday, that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to him. So no, I went on the Thursday instead of the Friday, as I was going to do. I just was like, you know what, I told my son I was gonna pick him, because my son wasn't gonna be home on Friday, so I was gonna do it on Friday, but I was like, you know what, I have to get this done. So I went to him on Thursday. So I went back to the guy, and he was like, hey, what's up? Like, he remembered me. But then when I sat down and I showed him my ear, all of a sudden he was like, wait, I did this? He looked like he was so freaking scared, you guys. Like, seriously, I know he was just like, you sure? I'm like, I came here, like all of a sudden, when I first came, he's like, oh yeah, hey, how's it going, girl? I remember you. I showed him real quick and he had me come up. He was like, oh, come here. He was like, come and sit down. So he took me next. And then when he saw it, he was so like, wait, I did this? Like, yes, my dude, you did this. But so he looked at it and he was like, oh my God. He was like, why did you let it get to this point? He was like, and then he told me, like, you should have came before. We could have told you to use certain things, like maybe even an aspirin mix, crush up the aspirin and mix it with, I think you just crush up the aspirin and then you make it into a paste. I forgot what you got to put it with it. And then you could put it on there and that's supposed to help relieve it and bring the tragus, what is it called? The tragus bump down. But I'm like, I don't really use medicine, so, because I'm allergic to a lot of them, so I didn't even want to use that. And I told him about the sea salt, and he was like, wow, it seems like you're having a really bad reaction to it. So he said it could be, like I was reading before too, that some people are allergic to the actual stainless steel. So now I'm assuming maybe it could be the stainless steel that could be the reason why it rejected it the way it did. Because I mean, back in the days before I had all these allergies, I got my tongue pierced. That was perfectly fine. I got this pierced and that was after, I believe it was after the allergies. I can't really remember, but I think it was. Maybe that's why it got rejected. And I haven't really gotten any other like legit piercings or anything like that. I used to have the Monroe piercing as well, but those take forever to heal anyway, but it wasn't like infected or anything like that. But yeah, that's the possibility that I could be allergic to stainless steel. I know like a lot of earrings I cannot wear because I guess depending on the material, sometimes they just make my ear feel itchy, or after I eat I start feeling itchy with my ears. It's so weird because I'd be good until I start eating and then it's like now it's starting to itch. Girl, the struggle is real. So anyways, after that he took it out and he was like, yo, it's probably, he didn't say yo, but he's like, it's gonna probably hurt. And then he held onto my ear with the clamp and just had to like pull it out. I'm like, because it was like literally the hole had kind of like sucked it over and was like squeezing it. It was just so scary. And then he took like the tool that he had and he clipped the bump that I had on the outside. The one on the inside was still there, and he told me that I could use lemon. Since I wanted to use like more so natural things, I could use lemon. I don't even think I did the lemon mix, did I? I think I did it twice. I just used a little drop of lemon, but I just kind of let it do its own thing by its own. And I used some warm water. I used that every day, like just to kind of help it to go down, because it was a legit like big thing in the back, and I'm like, please do not let it go, because it was like moving some days. It's weird. So it looked like it was going closer to like the canal of my ear, so that was really getting me nervous and, you know, scaring me, because I'm like, I don't want it to go into my ear canal, move down there or anything, or, you know, do something crazy like a freaking cause and effect and just do something stupid, you know? Y'all get what I mean. So anyways, he once he did that, he was like, okay, it's gonna start gushing, so just have a paper towel or whatever and just kind of like put it there, and you can clean it just to make sure that it doesn't get infected or anything like that. And he did tell me I can come back to him, but me being me and not wanting to go out my way, I never really went back to him. Although I still want to go back to him one of these days just to say thank you, but it's like out of my way, so I'll probably do that on a day that I'm actually over in that area, you know, like just go back to him and just show him that he really helped me a lot, because it could have been a really, really bad situation. This one that you see right here, I didn't go and get it done again. No, your girl is sticking to clip-ons. So when I want to look sexy or fly or something like that, I just take this out and put it on, and that's it. And when it starts, because, you know, it is squeezing your ear because it has like a clip. So when it does, let me show y'all. So when it does start to like hurt a little bit, because, you know, it's clipping for hours, then I'll just take it off and put it in my bag, and that's it. See, this is where the hole was, right there. And thank goodness it's back to normal. It looks regular. And even the inside, like the inside, it has like a little teeny, like a pimple. I could almost feel like a pimple, but it's nowhere near the way that it was. And this was about a month ago. So it's been about 2 months inside. I think I got it April, May, June, July. I think I got it the end, like the last day in April. May, June, July, August. So actually it's about, no, I said 2 months ago. It's like, or actually, because we're in August right now while I'm filming this. So it's been about, I would say May was when I went to him. So May and June, July, August. So about 3 months now. And so sometimes I still kind of feel like my ear, like it feels, I feel like before I used to get, when I get seasonal allergies, like my ears don't really, like inside don't really itch like that, but I feel like especially this one, it be itching a lot. Like sometimes this one itches a little bit inside, but it goes away. This one, it be lingering. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It's always like I said, it's always something. I'm just gonna try to like just stay in a bubble, because anything I do, I'm just playing, because you gotta live life, otherwise you'll never experience anything. But it's just messed up that it's always like something that I do that I try to, you know, be happy about. It just makes it worse, or it just causes an issue or a problem or something like that. And I was kind of beating myself up about it, but you know, thankfully I had support to help me to get past it. And I was kind of embarrassed about it, so that's why I really didn't want to come on here and talk about it at the time. And I didn't want to talk about it while it was happening, because it was just really a lot for me to handle. I didn't even really tell any of my friends about it, because I just didn't want to hear any judgment or anything like that, even though they probably wouldn't, you know, otherwise they wouldn't be my friends. But you know, I didn't really want to hear anybody say anything about it, so I just kind of kept it to myself and told my man about it, because I tell him everything, but that's about it. But yeah, you guys, that's my freaking nightmare tragus piercing story. So if you guys had any piercing horror stories, or if you have any piercings, you want to get any piercings, let me read it down below. You know, let's share stories. I thank you guys for making it to the end of this video and hearing, you know, the whole entire story. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I will see you in the next one. Later.